everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, like I said in a previous video, I am going to bring back the port guide videos. I do have 2 port guide videos so far already on the channel before this one that were filmed a few months ago, and I will link them in the iCard and at the end of this video if you are interested in watching those next. I am going to continue making these port guide videos. Actually, the next couple of videos you're going to see are going to be the port guide videos unless something crazy happens and I just decide to make a video on it on the Splur. So the plan right now is to have these port guide videos come out, and then I'm going to do a couple of tip videos possibly, and then maybe a Royal Caribbean versus MSC video because that's fresh on my mind. That possibly might be coming. And I have thrown out the idea of doing a MSC Seashore, the movie, where I put all my MSC Seashore videos into one. If you'd be interested in that, please let me know down below because that would be the next thing I do before the tip videos. So if you are interested in a MSC Seashore, the movie video, let me know and I will put that out as soon as possible. Anyway, the gist of today, I'm going to do a Port Tampa Bay cruise port guide. So let's dive into it. Port Tampa Bay is considered one of the smaller ports, but it is growing. There's a wide variety of cruise lines that do call the Tampa Bay port home at some point during the cruise season. Most notably, Carnival Cruise Line, Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, Margaritaville, Norwegian Cruise Line, Celebrity Cruise Line, and I believe Regent 7 Seas is about to start cruising from Port Canaveral as well. So in today's video, I'm going to kind of give you a guide for if you are about to cruise from Tampa, if you need some information when cruising from Tampa, this video is for you. So let's find all about the Tampa Bay Cruise Port. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to talk about is where is the Tampa Cruise Port located? The Tampa Cruise Port is located in Tampa, Florida, and it is actually located pretty much in the middle of downtown, which is very cool. It is located right in the middle of Channelside Drive, which is a very trendy and vibrant area, and it is definitely growing in population and things to do. There is quite a lot of stuff right there near the port, and the Tampa port address, which I'm going to say it, but I will put it down in the description as well. It is 651 Channelside Drive, Tampa, Florida, with the zip code of 33602. The Tampa Cruise Port also houses 3 cruise terminals. You have Cruise Terminal 2, Cruise Terminal 3, and Cruise Terminal 6. I believe we have cruised from Terminal 3 the most. I think the 2 times we cruised from Tampa, we sailed from Terminal 3. And then right there beside all these terminals is the Tampa Aquarium, if you were interested in that. Terminal 2 is primarily used by Carnival Cruise Line and I believe Margaritaville. I'm not real sure about Margaritaville. Terminal 3 is primarily used by Royal Caribbean and Norwegian usually, but sometimes like Norwegian is only there during the winter season, so other cruise lines can use the terminals at that point. Terminal 6 used to be the Holland America one, but Holland America doesn't cruise from Tampa as much anymore, so it's kind of just an overflow one. Terminal 2, like I said, primarily hosts Carnival ships. Terminal 3 is the main docking point for Royal Caribbean ships, but also occasionally Norwegian ships when Norwegian cruises from there. And Terminal 6 is more versatile. It hosts Holland America when they cruise from there, Celebrity Cruise Line, Margaritaville, and it's kind of the overflow. So if there's a ship in one terminal, they will dock at that one. The Tampa port does have free Wi-Fi, and it has quite a lot of waiting areas and seating areas for the passengers as well. Let's talk about the Port of Tampa Bay cruise parking. Obviously, there's going to be parking outside of the terminal, outside of the cruise port, but the cruise terminal parking at Tampa Bay is actually across the street from the port. And it costs about $15 to $20 a day. We have never parked our car at a port. We've always done whatever hotel shuttle program they have. So I'm not 100% sure what the exact cost. I could only find out between $15 to $20 a day, which is pretty average. There is a few nearby private parking lots, which you possibly could be a little bit cheaper, but your car may not be as secure as it would be at the cruise port. Just keep that in mind. The Port of Tampa Bay is in the middle of downtown Tampa, and it's really not that far from everything. So the Tampa International Airport is just 10 miles away from the cruise port. If you are driving yourself from the airport to the port, you'll get there in about 10 to 20 minutes. Obviously, it's a busy city, so it depends on the time you leave, and it depends on the traffic. But there is lots of ways to get to the port if you're not driving. If you're close by, you can walk. There's buses, there's Uber lifts, there's Ubers and lifts, there's shuttles, all kind of stuff. Next, we're going to talk about nearby things to do. So nearby, which the last time we were in Tampa, we checked this area out, is the Tampa Riverwalk. We actually stayed at a hotel that was right on the Riverwalk. It is a 2.4 mile walking trail with a hub of activity throughout the year, with a nice mix of different restaurants, public parks, bars, murals, stores, historic monuments, and even the Florida Aquarium, which is right by the cruise port, is literally right in between. It's like right in between two terminals. So I've yet to go, but it is one place that a lot of travelers or cruisers or tourists do check out while they're in Tampa. There's also museums near the Riverwalk and all kind of stuff. Another thing that's not too far from the cruise port is Ybor City, which is a historic district of Tampa, which offers visitors and tourists an opportunity to see the city's more culture-enriching side, which you can lose when you're in a busy downtown city. It has numerous bars and restaurants that have a very vibrant nightlife, and is a popular destination for the young adults. This area is more a distinct Colombian and Cuban influence. So if you're into that kind of culture, this is the area for you to check out when you go to Tampa. A little bit further away from the cruise port, there is Busch Gardens, which is a amusement park. I do want to check out Busch Gardens soon, so maybe the next time I cruise from Tampa, I can get to go to Busch Gardens. But I love roller coasters, and Busch Gardens is one of the big amusement parks that you hear about when you go to Florida. There is the Tampa Zoo, not too far if you want to see some animals. It's about 6 miles from the cruise port. And like I said a few times, the big aquarium, it is called the Florida Aquarium, and it is right in the middle of the Port of Tampa. So that is pretty cool. There's tons of restaurants and bars because you're in a big old city, so there is absolutely hundreds to choose from. There's a lot of hotels right there near the port. There is hotels closer to the airport. We have drove both times that we have cruised from Tampa. The first time we cruised from Tampa, we stayed at the Hyatt Place, which that was right by the airport, and that was okay. It does offer the park and cruise, so we usually pick hotels that offer the park and cruise, so we can leave our car there, and they have a shuttle bus that will take us to the port and pick us back up. The last time we cruised from Tampa, we stayed on the Riverwalk. I don't remember the exact name of the hotel, but it was on the Riverwalk, which was very cool. And they did a park and cruise with the shuttle as well. That is pretty much going to wrap it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the port guide of the Tampa Cruise Port. One of my favorite parts about cruising from Tampa is that it is a smaller cruise port, and at the end you get to cruise down the bay, which is absolutely an experience, and you also get to go under a bridge, and that is one of the reasons that Tampa does end up with smaller ships, because they have to be able to fit under the bridge that is at the end of the bay. But it is an amazing cruise port to cruise from. If you haven't yet checked out cruising from Tampa, I highly recommend you do. My first cruise on the Carnival Paradise was out of Tampa, and it was definitely one that I would do 100 times again. I would cruise out of Tampa every single time. The people there are amazing, always friendly. We've never had trouble cruising from Tampa, and I can't wait to go back to Tampa. Let me know down below if you've cruised from Tampa, if you have plans to cruise from Tampa. What do you think about the Tampa Cruise Port? I would love to hear your thoughts. But until next time, I will see you in the next video. Bye.